Hello and good day. Welcome to another edition of the Executive Edge of Palo Alto Networks. My name is Helmut Reisinger. I'm the CEO for EMEA of Palo Alto Networks, and I have a special guest today for you. And this is Martin Krump, a key executive of T-Systems Deutsche Telekom Group, but maybe a word of introduction from yourself first.
Thank you very much, first of all, for having me. My name is Martin. I'm CTO for Cybersecurity at T-Systems International, part of Deutsche Telekom Group and part of T-Security.
Now, we are here talking at Ignite in Darmstadt, talking also about the threat landscape and its evolution. What do you see as a key player at European, German, plus global level in terms of the threat landscape and how it evolves over has it evolved over recent months?
It is so fascinating because I think we in security, we see so much pace, so much acceleration all the time. There are new compelling events that are changing the threat landscape all over again, like the dawn of AI. But our unique position is on the network side of things, having one of the largest networks in the world. On the other hand, also the millions of end customers that we have from the telecommunications side, but also the piece that is the IT side of things. And that is a kind of unique situation where we see a lot of threat landscape or a lot of threats in our own network and with our customers.
So because you see both consumer data, but also the vast T-Systems B2B data,
Indeed.
How, in your view, Martin, has AI impacted the threat landscape? What do you see there?
I think quite tremendously, simply due to the fact that we once again have a new tool that has accelerated and simplified the working with IT in general. So where we, on our side, with a defensive side of things, have now tools in our hands that help us defend our day-to-day business for us and for our customers. So have the attackers. So now the bar of entry to actually facilitate an attack or to create your own malware has been lowered quite tremendously. And this is where all of those attacks have accelerated.
Okay. So you see a big change in terms of barriers to entry have lowered. On the other hand, the speed has increased. Do you see this as well in you have the biggest German-speaking SOC, actually a managed SOC to be very transparent, also at Deutsche Telekom Group and T-Sec and T-Systems. Now, what do you see there when you look at in this managed service approach with those attacks happening?
So first, not only one of the biggest or the biggest in Germany, but also spanning through Europe. And we also have locations over in the Americas and in Asia. So really spanning a global network. And I think that kind of context is very important because of a lot of our customers are dealing with a global customer base. They are positioned globally with a multitude of different locations. And therefore, they also need a partner that understands that global business. But specifically for our managed service, we go where the customer is. So we are following them, we are helping them, supporting them, being a partner on eye level, addressing their security needs.
And I know that you're leveraging a lot of tools already, leveraging AI for security, but there needs to be also security for AI deployments. Now, Germany, we are here in your country, has a lot of deployments ongoing in the industrial space, in the public administration space. Which kind of advice do you have for those organizations when they deploy AI with regards to security?
So this, for me, is the duality of AI. So on one hand, we're looking at how can I use AI now to be quicker, better, and have more quality overall, the fidelity of doing security. But there's a flip side to that because we're introducing a new technology. And with new technology, there are new attack vectors. And the fascinating thing about AI at the moment is that it is not entirely and completely understood and not completely developed and researched. So there's something new every day. As such, there's a new attack vector every day. So we need to put a lot of emphasis on also securing that new technology that we're introducing at the moment.
So a lot of speed, a lot of sophistication happening in the threat landscape due to AI and to protect this journey to AI. Another new technology, as you just mentioned, new technology is post-quantum, which is on the horizon. What's your view to Q-Day at TSEC and Deutsche Telekom and T-Systems?
So it is a topic that we are watching very, very closely, because at the end of the day, it is something that we need to address right now, that needs to be addressed like 2 days ago already, because there is the notion of harvest now, decrypt later. So in that context, we need to do a lot of the posturing with post-quantum cryptography right now, understanding what kind of exposure we're having, understanding where we need to update the algorithms, and then creating that post-quantum readiness.
And talking about AI once more, there's a lot of topics that the relationship between human identities versus machine identities is about 1 to 80. Now, the agents are on the horizon now, and they're actually in real life in production AI active. What's your view with regards to identity/AI in this context?
I mean, the identity is at the core of, for example, zero trust. And whenever we do something in security, we want to understand who is doing something to apply the appropriate policies. So that covers, on one hand, the human identities, which is, as you mentioned, the lowest amount of identities we have out there. Then we have those those machine identities. But also, that's 1 to 80. But now the agents are on the rise. And putting an identity to an agent will be crucial to tackle the vast challenge there is with agentic security. And I'm really, really curious on what kind of solutions the industry will come up, what kind of managed service we can create to collaboratively address those challenges.
And I think you, as a service partner to the German customers or European customers, you will see that there will be good benefits from our acquisition we did with CyberArk, the leader in identity, and what we have in network security or in the from code to cloud to SOC platform. On another topic, you are, as Deutsche Telekom, TSEC and T-Systems, you are playing a key role here in the European market on managed services. What do you think are key components that you offer as managed service provider, leveraging technology also from Palo Alto Networks in this context of re-architecting the security landscape of helping your customers there?
I think at the core of it all is trust. And a lot of that trust comes from the idea of German engineering, you know?
Okay.
So the fidelity.
And we trust German engineering, as you know.
We do. And from that perspective, I also look at the part of, okay, how can we now put that to the next level? And that is utilizing what we do for our own. Deutsche Telekom is a top 10 brand in the world. As such, we have a huge target on our back. Defending that network alone gives us a lot of insights, and the complexity of our organization gives us the experience to also tackle any kind of security challenge that our customers are approaching us with. And I think that combination is a huge benefit to our customer base.
So you're already leveraging your own expertise that you have protecting your own network and assets and applying this in your managed services for your customer base. If you look to the coming 12 months, Martin, what are key predictions and notions that you see will happen in this cybersecurity security space?
I think the realization that there are completely new kinds of attacks based on utilizing artificial intelligence, so basically exploiting AI itself. There will be thoughts about how can I now track the kind of training data that goes into it? How can I understand how the brain of an artificial intelligence work, and how can I do maybe a lobotomy in a kind of sense to also mask out kind of data? The other thing is sovereignty, and this is actually a topic that is very close to my heart, simply because as a European Union, in Germany, in Austria, and other countries all over Europe, we have a strong need and understanding that we want to have a, how do I put it, a longevity and sustainability in our business. And this is where we need to strike a balance on leading technology and sovereignty. And I think only together in partnerships you can strike that balance, co-develop, co-create something that addresses that need, that mitigates the current geopolitical situation, the new regulations that are upcoming, and much, much more.
You talked about co-creation, co-collaboration, which is a lot what we think as well. Cybersecurity is a team sport. Now, talking about sovereignty, you made a very good presentation today showing at the continuum from zero sovereignty versus 100%. And you mentioned very strongly your strong conviction that it depends very much on the business you're in, the different factors to it. So what is your advice in general for enterprises or public organizations, how to look at sovereignty, if I may ask you?
Don't look at it as a black and white. It is not a question of yes or no. It is a spectrum. It is somewhere in between. And you need to understand what needs you actually have, coming from things like redundancy, coming from other aspects like legal aspects, technological aspects, data sovereignty, operational sovereignty. Some of those are easier to tackle than others. One needs to understand, what do I need to fulfill my obligations? What do I need to fulfill my appetite from a business perspective? And then what do I need to invest in or implement to get to that sovereignty level that I want to have on my own? It is very similar to what we're doing in security from a risk management perspective, but with a new twist, with a new angle.
Yeah. Now, you have a lot of data at Deutsche Telekom T-Systems, TSEC, and we believe very much cybersecurity is primarily a data problem. Yeah. Here, speaking in Germany, we see a lot of transformation needs. There is a big energy transformation, there's a big industrial transformation going on. AI is accelerating this or accelerating the need to do it. And we have this notion of combining better outcome in terms of security with business benefits of modular platformization. What's your take on this when you speak with your customers as Deutsche Telekom Group?
So data is sometimes quite hard to address or to process. And the more bits and pieces I have, the more gears there are in an engine, the more complicated it gets and the more friction there is. So while there are very specific needs that I can address with point solutions, we also need to think about, how can I get that all in one pipeline? Because then there is a lower likelihood of some kind of lost in translation when it comes down to data. Because I'm hoarding so much data, and we know that prices for storage is also ever increasing. And at the same time, we need to think about what data is really relevant, because some is not, a lot of it is. And if I do that 7, 8, 9, 10 times, there will be problems, there will be friction. If I have that in a platform, probably due to the fine-tuning that is also happening on the vendor side, it gets easier from a consumption perspective, though both sides have their pros and cons.
Okay, wonderful. Well, you are a trusted network service provider and integrator across the globe, as we know. Trust is a key topic on cybersecurity. A big thank you, Martin, that we could speak together, and thank you for taking the time.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.